I grew up in the state of Oregon, and I love my home state. I wish I could live back there right now. I prefer it over Washington, even though Washington, I think, has better amenities that serve my greater needs. But my state has a problem. And not just the pink pussy hat wearing kind or the Antifa kind or everything else you might hear about in regards to anti-social justice warrior commentary aimed at my home city. We have a problem with Saudi nationals that keep getting charged with crimes and then straight up vanishing. And I'm not even kidding you. I just found out about this and it's freaking wild. So it says here, gone. More cases emerge of Saudi students vanishing while facing Oregon charges. Now, the problem, and I will fully admit, with this kind of story is that it's going to further push the sentiment or the anti-Islam sentiment or, xenophobic sentiment. People are going to argue that this article and this commentary is all going to be xenophobic. We're not talking about the Muslim faith. That's not even a thing here. We're talking about students who come from another country, who do things to hurt citizens of this country, and then when under arrest, facing charges for crimes committed in this country, poof, vanish. Just like David Copperfield's career. Lately, I don't know where he's been. Do you know where he's been? Who knows? Probably on an island somewhere surrounded by, hookers. But it's true. This is true, and it's wild. It says here, in December 2014, a university student from Saudi Arabia was arrested and accused of assaulting a classmate after giving her marijuana and shots of Jack Daniels. Bail was set at $500,000. The judge ordered the student to turn over his passport to the private defense lawyer hired to represent him, according to court records and the Polk County District Attorney's Office. A few days later, an official from the Royal Consulate General of Saudi Arabia in LA posted the bail, and he disappeared. Think about that. A foreign national here on an education visa, a school visa, assaults, drugs and assaults another student, accused of it, allegedly, gets brought up on $500,000 bail, which means that in order for him to get out, they put up 10%, so $50,000. Meaning that the Saudi consulate in Los Angeles paid the $50,000 knowing damn well that money was just going to go up in smoke just to get this kid out of jail and back to his country. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. That's super freaking crazy. But it goes on. Saying here that this case preceded a similar one recently reported by the Oregonian involving Abdul Rahman Samir Nura. The Portland Community College student jumped bail in the hit-and-run death of a 15-year-old Portland girl and apparently fled with the Saudi Arabian government's help, law enforcement officers have said. But the two disappearances aren't the only ones involving students facing serious criminal charges in Oregon. Yeah, as if one wasn't bad enough, two makes it even worse, and then there are even more. And it all really boils down to one person, as we're going to learn about here. Now, it says that the Oregonian has found criminal cases involving at least 5 Saudi nationals who vanished before they faced trial or completed their jail sentence in Oregon. They include 2 accused rapists, a pair of suspected hit-and-run drivers, and 1 man with CP on his computer. The 5 cases share many similarities. All were young men studying at a public college or university in Oregon with the assistance from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia at the time of their arrest. In 4 of the cases, the Saudi government stepped in to help, posting large sums of money for bail and possibly underwriting legal fees. 3 surrendered their passports. All disappeared while facing charges or jail time. The same Oregon defense attorney, Ginger Mooney, was hired to represent the 4 most recent suspects. Little is known about the whereabouts of the 5, though some have been traced back to Saudi Arabia. The new details add mounting scrutiny of Saudi Arabia's conduct abroad after the kingdom's role in the murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Now, I'm not trying to drag up the Khashoggi situation, but I think it does kind of draw a little bit of comparison when you look at it like this. Khashoggi was killed in Turkey, dismembered in Turkey by 12 Saudi nationals and 1 bone saw that we know of. He was a U.S. resident, a U.S. permanent resident, not a citizen, but still a U.S. permanent resident. And whatever you think of his personal politics aside, he was still a permanent resident of these United States. So he's entitled to certain things we're all kind of, I think we all get. All right. And that was a big deal. But what happened? Nothing happened. Not a damn thing happened. Nothing happened. Right? Not from our government, at least. And there's a lot of pushback from that. We have 5 Saudi nationals in the state of Oregon who have been able to basically skip the F out of town with the help of a locally hired defense attorney, Ginger Mooney, with money paid for by the Royal Saudi Consulate out of Los Angeles. This is a problem. 15 of the 19 hijackers on 9/11 were Saudi. Are we seeing a pattern here of our government, and not just this current administration, by the way? This is not, I'm not admonishing the Trump administration for this specifically. This is an ongoing problematic issue, a systemic issue involving the Saudi government and what they feel they can get away with here on our soil. At least in the case of 9/11 and these 5 guys. And I'm pretty sure a lot of other things that we're not talking about here. Am I the only one that looks at this and goes, what the hell? If any one of our people tried this publicly and their side of the world, we would hear about it nonstop. But here we are. Here we are talking about 5 Saudi-born students on visas here in the States, here in Oregon, or at least, well, down south in Oregon, committing these acts and then just vanishing like a thief in the night, aided by a defense attorney. It's fascinating when you take a step back and look at the abstract of it all. But of course, no one's going to do anything, no one's going to say anything, and no one's going to speak up. And those who do speak up will be accused of being xenophobic. I will guaranteed be accused of being xenophobic for making this claim, for talking about this issue. I'm not. This has nothing to do with the faith. This has everything to do with the corrupted nature of the Saudi government. Everything to do with how they think money will buy them whatever they want. I look forward to the day when the Saudi government runs out of cash. And it will happen sooner than you think. They're already hurting in a number of ways. Now, granted, they're not going to be destitute overnight. This will take a long time. But their power control is going to dissipate after a while. Anyway, I saw this. I wanted to talk about it. It deals with my home state. What are your guys' thoughts over this one? Let's try to keep the faith out of it, because this has nothing to do with faith, in my opinion, and everything to do with a corrupt government with way too much money and influence over our government and what they've been able to get away with. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. Hey, thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. Since you're here, why don't leave a comment? Let me know what you think about stuff. If you want to subscribe to the channel, you can do that as well. And you check out any of these great, fantastic, amazing commentary tracks by me. That's right. I'm not egotistical or narcissistic at all. I'm just your average, everyday, normal YouTuber. Thanks for watching.